House of Representatives probes food safety risk from local grinding machines. Reps move to jail dual party members. And House summons Water Resources Minister over new commission. Thank you for joining us on You and Your Reps, where we bring you the key debates, decisions, and developments from Nigeria's House of Representatives. I am Victor Azo. Welcome. The House of Representatives has launched an investigation into claims that locally fabricated grinding machines may be contaminating food with heavy metals. Lawmakers say the potential health risk amounts to a silent public health emergency and have called for urgent scrutiny to protect consumers nationwide.
This is urgent.
Rising on a matter of urgent public importance, Representative Wale Raji drew attention to findings of the Federal Institute of Industrial Research, Oshodi, raising concerns that locally fabricated grinding machines may be exposing Nigerians to toxic metals released during food processing and spread across food supply chains. Adopting his motion, the House directed its committees on healthcare services as well as science and technology to investigate the matter, stressing the need for standards in local fabrications to safeguard public health.
This is as a result of contamination that takes place in the process. Only God knows how many we as members have distributed by way of empowering our constituents.
This motion is a very timely motion. I must commend you for bringing this motion. It affects the rest of us, and I think something urgent needs to be done about it.
Still on public health, the House expressed worry over rising cases of sudden death from cardiac arrest, urging the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare to install automated life-saving devices in public places.
The House recalls that on the 24th of June 2024, a senior official of the Nigerian Customs Service by name Andrew Essien slumped and died within the National Assembly complex while on official duty. The House is aware that the United States, Canada, the UAE, and several other countries, the installation of defibrillators in public offices and government buildings is mandatory.
Delayed issuance of tax clearance certificate to pay-as-you-earn employees was also raised in plenary, with relevant tax authorities urged to comply with the provisions of the Personal Income Tax Act.
Concerned that the affected employees are in most cases compelled to resort to irregular means of sourcing or borrowing tax clearance certificates in order to meet urgent requirements such as processing of official documents, financial transactions, and school admission for their children.
The FCT administration's 2026 budget of 2.2 trillion naira scaled second reading and was referred to the Committee on FCT for further consideration.
And at plenary, the member representing Michika, Madagali Federal Constituency of Adamawa State, Dauda Zakaria Nyampa, raised a motion of urgent national importance over a deadly attack in his constituency, where 27 people, including the village head, were killed and homes set ablaze. We later caught up with the lawmaker for more on this situation.
I moved a motion of matter of urgent national and urgent importance because of the killing that occurred in my constituency in Shuari village, area of Kirchinga ward in Madagali local government of Adamawa State. It's my constituency. There were attacks on the community. They came and killed 27 people by Boko Haram and ISWAP. The complexity of what happened at night, you can't separate the two. And they killed, unfortunately, they killed many in that village, including the village head of that place, Mr. Popka Bademi. He lost his life, and many women and children were killed, and their houses were burned by the attackers. We have called on agency of government, all the security agency, including humanitarian agency of government, to come to the aid of our people. Especially in that motion, I have called for the establishment of military command in that village, so that it's a border area, it's a place that is vulnerable, it's a place that is exposed, that ordinarily, even in the daytime, you'll be scared of that place because it's very close to the Sambisa forest. So our people are endangered, and they need to be protected, because that is also the constitutional right that the citizen of this country has. There's humanitarian crisis as I'm talking to you. So many of them are homeless because they burned their houses. And the rainy season is by the corner. You can imagine your house is being burned, members of your family be killed. They are in deep trauma, they are in deep mess because of what they are going through. They burn their food items in the houses, so they are hungry. And we need to give them back a life balance. They need the security, they need the food, they need all other basic amenity to stabilize back into that village. And I believe the relevant committee that the motion address will pick up the matter.
The House of Representatives has taken another step into refining the Electoral Act of 2026, passing a bill to amend Section 77 in a bid to clamp down on dual-party membership. The proposed amendment introduces stiff penalties, including possible imprisonment, as lawmakers seek to strengthen party discipline ahead of future elections.
Proposing amendment to Section 77 of the Principal Act, the bill introduces subsections 8 to 10, prohibiting simultaneous membership of two political parties, while prescribing a 2-year jail term or a fine of 10 million naira or both for anyone found guilty. It elicited robust debate and attempts at further amendment before it was passed.
INEC must communicate to a political party, hey, we have detected so, and so, registered in so, and so political parties. And it can affect your primaries. It should be limited to only one. Deny him the freedom to associate with all the two political parties he might have belonged to is a contravention of his right under Section 40 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which guarantees freedom of association.
After I have sent letter to the party that I have left, but my name is found in 2 registers, and somebody that wants to be mischievous sues me for belonging to 2 political parties. How do you officially terminate membership for you to be able to punish somebody for belonging to 2 parties?
You cannot put your legs in 2 different houses at the same time. It doesn't work that way.
Bill for now to amend the Electoral Act 2026 to make express prohibition of dual party membership and provide penalties for contravention and for related matters, read 3rd time and pass.
Concurrence is expected at the Senate. Adopting other urgent motions, the House called for reinforcement of security operations in parts of Ekiti and Kwara states to curb kidnappings and banditry.
Coordinate a joint security operation involving relevant security agencies to identify and dismantle criminal camps operating within the forest around Ekiti, Kogi, and Kwara border access.
Mandate the Nigerian Army to establish a military base in Kayama, as this will be the 5th time this request will be coming.
This motion is referred to the Committees on Defense, Army, Emergency and Disaster Preparedness for further legislative action.
Meanwhile, political realignment continues as the PDP and Labour Party lost 5 seats, 4 to the APC and 1 to Accord Party.
In the meantime, the member representing Miriam Onuoha, the Federal Constituency of Edo State, Billy Osawaru, is pushing for the creation of additional local government areas from existing ones in his constituency. We asked the lawmaker why.
We have 2 local governments that make up my federal constituency, Onuoha and Miriam. These are some of the largest local governments in the 774 local governments in the country. Miriam used to be just the only local government before Onuoha was carved out a long time ago. And there are so many other local governments, not just only within the state, but in other parts of the country, that I can say they are not even up to 1/3 of Orion or Nwode, but yet they are local governments. So we felt at this moment it was overdue to have Nwode and Orion, actually to have some other local governments carved out of them. And for Orion, we have Orion local government at this moment, and we are seeking for Orion South and Orion East. Then there is North Saibo, because at the moment there are 12 wards in Orion. So we figured out that one local government, as it stands right now, 4 wards can make up one local government. And like that, in Nwode, we have the 2 Magbai, which Magbai North and Magbai South. They are mostly, you can say they are mostly urban now. And when I say urban, of course, you know what I mean. You know, the population, you know, have exploded. And they are, when you talk about population, is an urban area where you have a lot of people. So the 2 Magbai, you know, can make up one local government. We have the Akugbe Axis of Nwode, which is the Beni Agbo Road, you know. That can make up a local government too, called Akugbe, while the Nwode will still remain, you know, made up of, you know, the Eo Axis. When it comes to economic development, of course, you know that most of the local government's allocations come from the federal, you know, and these local governments, as it stands today, they have natural resources that the country as a whole benefits from. Like Orion, you know, right now has one of the largest gas reserves in the country. And if we have more local governments out of Orion, of course, more allocation will come. And there will be more economic development, because even these rural-urban drift that we have today, if those local governments are being developed, we are going to have more people coming back from the urban area, which is oversaturated right now, you know, back to those rural areas. And again, for political relevance as well, because when you have these local governments growing and people are beginning to come in too, again, where you have a lot of people that make up a particular unit, you cannot split those units, you know, or even wards, you know, as the case may be. You can split those wards to have more units as well. So for political relevance, you're going to have more wards and units come out of, you know, those places. So again, there are still so many other benefits, you know, that will come to all those different local governments if they are carved out of the present local government as it stands right now.
And the House of Representatives has summoned the Minister of Water Resources, Joseph Utsev, to explain the alleged creation of the Nigeria Integrated Water Management Commission without an enabling act of Parliament. Chairman of the House Committee on Finance, James Faleke, issued the summons during an investigative hearing last Tuesday.
It's the resumed revenue monitoring exercise of the House Committee on Finance, covering the 2023 to 2025 fiscal years. The management of the Nigeria Integrated Water Management Commission disclosed to lawmakers that it has not produced any audited financial statements since its establishment in 2007, citing the absence of an enabling law to define its legal and operational framework. This drew sharp reactions from the committee, which insisted the commission ought to operate as a department of the Federal Ministry of Water Resources.
All revenues generated by the commission are fully paid, 100%, into the TSA.
You are operating illegally. And next time you do that, we will sanction you. Minister of Water Resources is hereby invited to face the Committee of Finance on Tuesday next week. Carried? Carried.
While perusing the audited statements of the National Health Insurance Authority, the agency was asked to create more awareness about the scheme to grow the number of enrollees from the current 21.7 million.
The day you are sick, God forbid, that you have to go to hospital, that's not the time to start putting your hand in your pockets looking for money because it's already covered. So awareness needs to increase.
Earlier, plenary was abridged, with the House receiving President Tinubu's request for consideration of the 2026 statutory budget of the FCT administration.
The FCTA is prioritizing improvement in healthcare services, job creation, youth empowerment.
House adjourned plenary to Wednesday after a minute's silence in honor of late Senator Barinada Piggy and late Deputy Chief of Staff to the Speaker, Chamberlain Dunku.
Have you ever heard the phrase concurrent list? Perhaps you have. But what does it really mean in the context of lawmaking? We asked the chairman of the House Committee on Rules and Business, Francis Waive, to break it down for us.
Concurrent lists, as defined in the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, refers to those items on the list that both the federal and state governments can legislate upon and can, participate on, act upon. So you take issues like education, it's on the concurrent list. So the state government can build secondary schools, universities. The federal government is doing the same. We have federal government colleges, we have federal universities. So those things are on concurrent list. Education. Health is another matter that is on the concurrent list, which means that on both sides, both the federal and the state government, and even in some cases the local government, can participate. So you have local government being involved with primary education, with primary health care. So those issues that all tiers of government, particularly the federal and the state, can legislate upon, can act upon, execute projects upon, on the concurrent list. And I've given examples. And very recently, a few things that were not on the concurrent list are getting on the concurrent list. For instance, power generation and distribution. The amendment to the Electoral Act and the Constitution now allows state governments to participate in the electricity sector. So that's what the concurrent list is all about.
This week on You and Your Reps, the committee segment turns attention to the ongoing constitution review with a focus on the push for the creation of new states. So we spoke with the member representing Okigwe North Federal Constituency of Imo State, Representative Miriam Onuoha, on the quest for a sixth state in the southeast.
We had agitations for Aba State, we had for Anioma State, we had for Anim State, we had for Adada State, and we also had from Etiti State creation. Members who championed the creation of these states came from Imo, Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, and Delta State, who were pushing for Anioma State. And at one point, they pushed for Anioma to be a part of Anim, so that it became a bigger and better platform, marrying the advantages of more resources, bigger land mass, and better economic viability. But that was met with some challenges about situating the state capital, which many argued that must be within the southeast for it to have that identity of a southeastern state. Members who were accredited to vote on the 2nd of December 2025 were briefed, and there was an intense campaign. Those who had sponsored the bill and the promoters of this state creation were invited to make their presentations. The committee was given a task to generate guidelines as to what will form the basis and justification for such states: economic viability, cultural affiliation and affinity, the geographical size, the language, and a whole lot of other criteria and readiness to take off. After the voting exercise, Anim State creation garnered the highest number of votes cast to up to 95% margin. And it was announced and declared as the preferred state to be created from the southeast extraction to make up the sixth number of states, to be the sixth state serving as the state of equilibrium. The southeast remains the only geopolitical zone with less than 6 states, like you have 8 counterparts, and except for the northwest with 7 states. So that in itself is a deprivation in number and of the rights of the people of Southeast when you talk about equity and justice. And having finished with this assignment of the committee, we have presented our report to the Constitution Amendment Committee, committee of the House of Representatives, because like I said earlier, we were constituted by a joint Senate and House committee of both chambers, which sat in Lagos before last year, in 2025. So we're waiting for the joint committee to reconvene, and so that this report will be laid on the floor of each chamber for consideration. And there will be voting by members to accept, either by a yea or a nay. And what is next is for members of the Southeast, and indeed the entire country, to wake up to our sense of equity and brotherhood, and ensure that whenever this bill is being canvassed on the floor of the House, that it garners the necessary number to pass it into law.
That conversation on states creation brings us to the end of You and Your Reps for this week. Thanks for watching. I am Victor, as well. See you next time.